In August of 2019, I saw something at the Disneyland resort that rattled me to my core. It was just a subtle, creepy moment, but it's stuck with me ever since. After Disney's D23 Expo in Anaheim, my sister and I headed to the theme parks for a late lunch. Since we had bags filled with merchandise from the expo, we rented a locker near the Disney California Adventure entrance. The parks were crowded that Saturday, and we saw several people wander out of the nearby restroom, wiping the sweat from their foreheads. The locker area was small, wonderfully cool, and thankfully uncrowded. It was just us and a young girl with fair skin that I noticed out of the corner of my eye. She crouched against the far wall, digging out of a bottom row locker. As my sister and I chit-chatted about our first ride, we kept our voices low as not to bother her. After a couple of minutes, I realized that the girl had been crouching for quite a while. Though I couldn't tell how old she was, I thought it was odd that she was alone for so long. I didn't want to rudely look directly at her, so I kept track from the corner of my eye just to make sure that she was okay. The girl played with her long yellow skirt as if dusting it off. I thought the pattern was out of place, either red polka dots or strawberries. It looked like something a person might wear on Dapper Day. Suddenly, the girl turned around. I stopped keeping track of her and focused on my sister, who was stuffing her things into our locker. Still, I could sense the girl's eyes on us. I looked again from the side, hardly able to see her in my peripheral vision. She was standing now, staring at us. I noticed her short, dirty blonde hair and the skirt's length as it cascaded to her ankles. She was taller and older than I expected, probably a young teenager. What was she doing? Why was she looking at us? It was just too weird, and I needed to know. I quickly crammed my bag into the corner locker and shut it. I could still see the girl watching us. All at once, I gave up my reservations and turned around. No one was there. The locker area was totally empty. There wasn't a thing that resembled a yellow dress or a girl with fair skin. For a moment, I stared at the emptiness with goosebumps racing down my arms. "Are we going over to Disneyland?" asked my sister. She looked toward me and noticed my flustered face. "What's wrong?" "Did you see that girl?" I shook. "Near those lockers?" "Yeah, I saw someone," my sister muttered. She had noticed the girl too. But I didn't have to explain. My sister was already staring at the empty row of lockers near us. I watched the color swiftly leave her face. No, no, no. I'd told my sister about the ghosts I'd seen at Disneyland before, and now she'd seen one too. The moment was haunting and darkened the sunny afternoon. My sister reopened the locker and yanked our things from it. With our arms full, we rushed toward Disneyland, gripping our bags and unable to shake the ghostly girl from our minds. Did you know Disney's Haunted Mansion holds secrets even its own staff can't explain? Wait until you hear what happened to a custodian in 2003. Late one night after the park had closed, a maintenance worker was doing his routine cleaning near the Haunted Mansion's exit in New Orleans Square. The employee hallway was dimly lit when he spotted an elderly woman sitting quietly in an antique wooden wheelchair. He thought nothing of it at first, continuing to tie off a trash bag. But something felt wrong. The park had been closed for hours, and this was a staff-only area. When he turned back just seconds later, both the woman and the wheelchair had completely vanished. The incident haunted him, particularly the strange wooden wheelchair that looked nothing like Disney's modern rental equipment. Years later, while reviewing historical documents about the park, he discovered something chilling. In 1902, long before Disneyland existed, multiple witnesses reported seeing an identical scene in that exact location. An elderly woman in an antique wooden wheelchair who disappeared without a trace. The description matched perfectly, down to the smallest detail. What would you do if you encountered this mysterious woman in the wheelchair? Are some things at the Haunted Mansion actually haunted? Did you know Walt Disney's spirit might still roam Disneyland? After his death, something inexplicable happened that changed how people view his former apartment forever. In the heart of Disneyland, above the firehouse near City Hall, sits Walt Disney's private apartment. During his lifetime, he would light a lamp in the window to signal his presence in the park. This simple tradition took an eerie turn after his passing. One evening, a maintenance worker noticed the lamp mysteriously illuminated in the empty apartment. Thinking nothing of it, she switched it off and left the building, only to discover it glowing once again from the street below. Determined to solve this peculiar occurrence, she returned to the apartment and turned off the lamp a second time. Yet again, the warm glow reappeared in the window. On her third and final attempt, she remained in the apartment after switching off the light. To her astonishment, the lamp flickered to life before her eyes, with no explanation for its supernatural behavior. Since that night, the lamp has remained eternally lit, honoring Walt's enduring presence. Cast members regularly report mysterious footsteps and knocking sounds echoing through the firehouse apartment, especially after dark. What would you do if you witnessed the lamp turning on by itself in Walt's apartment? Did you know Disneyland's happiest place on Earth harbors dark secrets after midnight? Wait until you hear what happens in the Star Trader stockroom. The Lady in White has been a familiar presence at Disneyland since the early 1900s, when she reportedly died on the property before the park was built. Her Victorian-era dress catches the dim lamplight as she glides through Main Street after hours, a ghostly reminder of a bygone era. Security guards have grown accustomed to glimpsing her ethereal form in their monitors, but tonight is different. She's heading toward Tomorrowland, drawn to another supernatural hotspot within the park. The fourth-floor stockroom of Star Trader has always felt wrong to employees. Cold spots appear without explanation, and merchandise mysteriously rearranges itself when no one is around. Tonight, cameras capture the Lady in White entering this cursed space for the first time. As she passes through the stockroom door, the temperature plummets. Shelves begin to shake, and Star Wars collectibles float in midair, orchestrated by an unseen force that has claimed this space as its own. Two haunted worlds collide as the Lady in White confronts whatever entity lurks in the stockroom. The question remains, what happens when Victorian-era spirits meet modern-day hauntings? Have you ever experienced something supernatural at Disneyland? Did you know that some secrets at Disneyland are darker than others? The happiest place on Earth hides a chilling tale that still haunts its cast members today. In 1966, during the park's annual Grad Night celebration, 19-year-old Thomas Cleveland made a fatal decision. Eager to join the festivities, he scaled a perimeter fence and found himself on the restricted monorail track. A security guard spotted him, desperately shouting warnings about the danger. But Thomas, fearing trouble, kept running. Moments later, the approaching monorail struck him, dragging his body 30 feet before finally stopping. The tragic accident cast a long shadow over what should have been a night of celebration. But Thomas's story didn't end there. Late at night, when the park grows quiet and the last visitors have gone home, monorail operators report a peculiar sight. A young man matching Thomas's description appears on the tracks near the spot where he died. He runs alongside the train, just as he did that fateful night before vanishing into thin air. The apparition seems trapped in an eternal loop, forever reliving his final moments in the park he never got to enjoy. What would you do if you spotted Thomas's ghost during your next visit to Disneyland? Are some attractions better left unexplored after dark?